Petromok, I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be hard for Vivo to carve a space for it there.
Yeah, that's a different market because Puma entered with nothing, and when they're quite aggressively, and the growth is very good. BP is not investing anymore because one year they think they want to sell, the year they don't want to sell. Petromok, they don't have cash, so these assets are really going down. So there is place for someone an entrepreneur like Puma Vivo wants to start. But these markets, Tanzania and Mozambique, are not only important for the retail network. They are really important because they are entry points to these regions. So you would definitely decide to go in these countries to have terminals. And then once you are in the country and you have terminals and you have a team, then you start buying and developing a little bit the retail network because you are there and it's better to grow. And you know that your competition, Petromok and BP, are weak. They don't want to invest. But the key is to have the terminal because, to import. So a trader would like to have an import terminal or maybe even a distributor. Tanks, in Beira or Matola. Matola is next to Maputo because Mozambique and Tanzania are the entry for many countries in Africa. And so you would set up a strategy. For example, Tanzania, you import to supply Tanzania market, but also Burundi, sort of Uganda, Rwanda, Katanga, so sort of DRC, and Zambia. And so if you only have tanks but you have no retail network, that's not a big deal because you can supply to local players in Tanzania, white flags or small persons. You can, and then you can supply the entire. You can participate to the public tenders to countries like Zambia or Malawi. Then you go to Mozambique. You have also terminals there, and it's very important to have terminals in Mozambique, and then have a position in South Africa, because you have swing states. I would say you have Zambia, Malawi, DRC. Sometimes it's cheaper to import from Mozambique. Sometimes it's cheaper to import from Dar es Salaam or from South Africa. So these three entry points, South Africa, you buy from refineries or you import yourself. Mozambique and Tanzania. If you have these 3 points, you can really play and make money because it depends on consumption. You can apply to the national oil tender for Malawi. You diversify your supply source, so less risk of logistic issue because it's still Africa. You have logistic issue with truck crossing borders and everything. So all these centers of Africa, from Katanga to South Africa, including Zimbabwe, Mozambique, a little bit of Botswana, Malawi, can be supplied from 3 sources. So a trader would, or someone having a strategy, would always want to be in Tanzania, Mozambique, and South Africa.
Okay.
And then that was some strategy of players, and then grow the retail around your tanks. You have tanks in Beira, and then you start growing your retail.
Got it. That's very clear. And in South Africa, are there still players that could potentially be up for sale? So, for example, if Vivo wanted to enter South Africa, is it interesting?
Yes, South Africa is an interesting market. What happened in South Africa? You have Engen, which is always for sale, but nobody can sell it because it's so political. You have Chevron, who just sold to Sinopec, BP, Total, and Sasol. Shell, obviously. Assets, refineries are old, so markets tend to say that some refinery will close, giving a nice import. Even now, diesel is imported because refinery can only produce diesel 500 ppm and not 50. And now everybody is using 50 ppm. So there is a lot of change in the market. People said government will regulate the price, to increase the price so that